Hey everybody, welcome back to Bro Do It Yourself Counter Renovation Series. This is going to be a redo. I'm going to combine a couple of my videos for better content, and this is going to be redo number 14. Has to do with my load center control panel, my main panel operated lighting, and my portable generator transfer switch sub panel lighting. I've got those on two different circuits, mainly because if the energy goes out, I want to be able to have light to work on my electric. So let's say the electric goes off, fire up my generator, and I come down here and I turn that light on, and that way I'll have light to see what I need to do. Also, I cleaned up a lot of the extraneous electrics. I had a duplex GFCI here that was so close to utility tub, it just made me uncomfortable. So I had a bunch of wires strung and got rid of all that. I put a waterproof light fixture here, or toggle switch, paddle switch, which had my 10-2 wire, which is the black wire, servicing two 110 screw-in bulbs in this little room, and a bunch of hang downs. A bunch of drop lights I had hooked up to extension cords. These connectors that I used were ideal here. Ideal connectors for the 10 gauge, and I used 221s, 3-point WAGO. I used 3 of them here, 3 of them here, 3 of them here. What I did is I did the same thing to these. These are Lithonia 4-foot Vaportight lights, and they're really, I was really surprised. I'm really happy with the quality of them. What I did was I took and exploded these, and I can't see because I'm blinding myself, but up here on these ends, where my finger is a number 15 O-ring, a 1/2-inch male PVC, and on the inside, of course, it's plastic nut, and 1/2-inch PVC running to the next. And I did that throughout. I did that on both banks. These Lithonias are really well built, and they are 16 inches on center for mounting, and these are not, and I'll talk about that later. What I did is I took the wire connectors on both sets of these, except for the smarts at the end, and I cut them all off and replaced them with WAGOs, because I wanted everything to be the same. So I used 3 WAGOs here, 3 WAGOs here, 3 WAGOs here for the acceptance of the 14 gauge THHN Stranded green, black, and white wires that I ran throughout. I'm kind of distracted now because what I was doing was messing around today. I'm trying to get all this straightened out. Slowly I'm getting the wires running, combined, and the breaker switched out. But the breaker that I hooked up, a GFCI, or a do function actually, trips every time I turn it on for this bank. So I've got the old breaker back in. I'll dig into that. I had seen something about this, so let me forget about that now and dig into that later. For now, it's working, and I'm sure it's something that's fixable. These, like I say, these Lithonias were really, really well made. Gasket system, the clamps on them are really, everything is quality. The smarts have a port here. Let me turn this light back off again. I really like the light down here, but it sometimes be a little harsh. That's why I like this back here. The ventilation system's got it dimmed down enough that I think it's almost the same luminosity. But these smarts have got this little port that unscrews, and a shelf pulls out, and you've got a 5 landing spots for a compressive wire connection, spring load. You have a load or line, a neutral, a ground, a dimmer plus, and then a dimmer. And I used, of course, the 3. I don't have a dimmer or a timer hooked up to this, so I've got the capability, I guess. I can't remember if these are dimmable. I know that these are not, so I'm not going to worry about that. It's the advantage of having 2 banks of lights. You just turn one off. But to that end, they won't accept ferrules. It was a small gauge. It looked like it was about, I don't know, 16, maybe 18. To the wires running into the smart. So they won't accept. They'll just accept these stranded wires I put in, but not anything with a ferrule. So you really got to be careful. You got to strand or really take the stranded in and twist them. And I didn't mess around with solder, so I just stuck them in there with gingerly on that little shelf. And then I took zip ties. I zip tied like 4 zip ties within an inch to really lock them in place. And then about every other 1.5 inches for about 6 inches, just to make this bend, just so they would be a solid, not have to worry about pulling out of that little shelf. It was, you know, just not overcautious, just wanted to make sure that I didn't have to redo the work. I did the same thing on this side. So I addressed this install. It was pretty straightforward. Like I said, these are 16 inches on center mounting. A little screw-in bracket into the joist. These over here are not Lithonia, from a company called NEOX, which I would imagine is from overseas. But you can see here, they're not 16 inches on center. I would imagine it's probably some kind of European measurement or Asian measurement, because I had to, they'll fit on one joist, of course, and on the second joist I have to compensate, and then they go on this joist here. I had to compensate, and they go on this joist here, and you can see that no, they went on this joist here, and I had to compensate here. Yep, that's what I had to do. Probably too blurry for you to see, but I did the same process over here with the number 15 O-ring, and my stinking fingers in the way there. Sorry about that. A 16 O-ring, 1/2 inch male, and plastic or metal nut inside with the same stranding THHN gauge connections. Snipped off the 3 stinking connectors they had. I'll tell you what, I'm glad I broke into these because they were damaged. This one here was damaged. The control, the power control was completely dislodged. The ground strap was broken on this one, and anyway, it was just very poor quality too. I had to cinch everything back down pretty much, but and the gasket system, you know, everything is just, you know, just enough to get you into some luminosity, just enough to get a sail made. It looks like an afterthought, all this PVC, and if I'd have thought it through at the beginning, I might have been able to straighten it up, but it's functional and it works well, and I like this idea. This is going to be, my wife seems to like this better too, this dimmer over here. The dimmer, I mean, it's just easier on the eyes. This way, when my electric's out, I'll be able to fire up a generator and off of this panel use this light bank, so I can see what's going on my electric. So this is where the ironing board's going to be, of course. This rack will be gone because you're supposed to leave this all open. So I'm really starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel as far as finishing this job up. I've still got a lot of work to do down here, but these tasks are rolling off, checking them off pretty quick. So it's the little things. It's like fixing this GFCI issue with my my lights and GFC ISU with my dryer. We'll leave those on a list to fix at the end of the game. So if I have to, I'll get a professional in here to deal with all that stuff. And at least I've got the hard stuff done. Anyway, thanks for coming back. Appreciate it. And I hope this is a little better quality content. And we'll continue the process. All right. Take care. See you later. Yes, sir. Lights. That's it.